Hey, this is Papa Brad, just coming at you with a quick restream of the Friday night arcade show. The awesome interview with Glens Retro Show. Before I do that, let me start by doing a little highlight video on a sale that is on only for this weekend. So, if you're new to maybe wanting an iiRcade, this is a good time to jump on. Let me play this real quick. This is Papa Brad's Gaming coming at you with a really awesome deal for iiRcade. I often get asked, when is a good time to pick up an iiRcade? When do they have a good deal? And I just want to share this deal that came available today with my audience. Alrighty. So here's what we have. Huge stream today from iiRcade. Of course, they announced that the Glens control panel will open up Sinden support on the original iiRcade units. And they released Operation Thunderbolt, another light gun game, which will be great to play. And on top of that, they announced an amazing deal on the OG Retromania wrestling cab. And that's what I want to share right now. Let me pull up. First, I want to pull up just a picture of it, and then we'll go to their website. So let's pull up a picture first. This is the Retromania wrestling bundle. It's got the 128 gigabyte storage, which is the biggest storage they offer, and then this cab also has the SAMWA controls. Okay, so this is pretty much a $819 cab for $300 plus shipping. Pretty good deal. Let's take a look on the iiRcade website just to show you how interested I am. Boom, that's mine. It's on its way. Let's take a look here. How do I do this? Oh, I have to click on this? Okay, I think that's it. How do I get myself in that? Alrighty, here we go. You get the Retromania Wrestling Bundle, 128 gigabyte plus SAMWA controls. Take a look at this mug. Got the great sound. So basically, for $299 plus $100 shipping, you can get you an iiRcade right now. I think that's a pretty good deal. It's got a 19-inch display. This one has the actual SAMWA joysticks, which is really great. But if you're looking to pick up an iiRcade, check this deal out. They're going to probably go pretty quick at this price. This is about as good as you're going to get if you want brand new. Because you're getting a brand new machine directly from iiRcade. Yeah, I mean, really, for $400, let's say, shipped, including the shipping, that's not even the cost of a deluxe cab from Arcade 1UP. And just the amount of games you can play on iiRcade, plus the incredible library, which you can get of Toplin shooter games. I mean, this is a no-brainer. I mean, this is for getting something brand new, and this is the most premium original model. You've got the bigger storage space, which I have bought every game on iiRcade, and I don't even have the 64 gigabyte filled up. This has 128 gigabytes. That's enough storage. You're never going to run out of space. And the other thing this has is it does have the premium SAMWA joysticks. And the buttons, I believe, are SAMWA clones, but they're very high quality and very easy to swap out with actual SAMWA Candy Cab buttons. I have a video, and it's cheap. I think it was about $20 off of Amazon, and I have a full SAMWA modded Candy Cab kind of style arcade. But this is really for new people. If you're looking for a time to jump in, this is a good time to jump in. This is a great price. And I can tell you, having had several iiRcades already, the boxes are super heavy. Just the $100 is very reasonable for the shipping. These are two heavy boxes. It's almost like getting two Arcade 1-Up boxes, because you know how heavy those are. It's the iiRcade uses thicker wood, so it's split into two of those heavy boxes. So it's very reasonable, I think, for what you get. This is a great deal if you're looking to get into iiRcade. So yeah, I just wanted to share this. This is going to be a quick stream. It is an upgraded model. You do have the bigger storage space, and you have the Sanwa joysticks, and it comes with Retromania, which is one of the most expensive games to buy. And as someone having both models, the gold and the original iiRcade, outside of the look of having a marquee, I mean, they all play the same games, so there's not much difference there. And the sound is not that massive of a difference either. I have both, and the original model actually goes louder. It just doesn't go at that max volume with the crystal clarity. And I think that's really what the JBL added. But most people aren't, you know, turning their arcades up to, you know, ear-deafening levels. So I'm happy with both of them, to be honest. So all in all, I think for $299, it's a pretty sweet deal. Of course, we would have loved to have gotten free shipping, but I mean, to be honest with you, these boxes were crazy heavy. I remember when I got my iiRcade, you know, it's definitely some heavy stuff to ship. So I just wanted to share this. If you are interested, just let me know. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I just threw this up real quick because I know a lot of people have been asking me. I mean, what's a good deal for an iiRcade? This is a pretty good deal. Like, if you were interested in this, this is really good hardware. I mean, I bought one myself just to have another iiRcade. Also with iiRcade, once you buy the games, they can play them on any machine, like they share on all your iiRcade machines. So you never have to buy them again, which is really cool. So, I mean, I think for $299, I mean, you know, the shipping is a bit, $100 was a bit more than I thought it would be, but I still think it's a great deal. If you're looking to get one of these cabs, if you're thinking about jumping into iiRcade, this is a pretty good deal. So I just wanted to share this. I'm going to be on a stream later. Hey, Mikey, how you doing? Thank you for being here. I'm going to be on a stream later with BiggggyD and Glens Retro Show. We're doing the Friday night arcade show tonight. And we're gonna take that to just move into the next thing. I just wanted to put this in front of this because this is a limited time thing. It's for this weekend only. So if you're thinking about maybe moving into maybe trying an iiRcade out, I mean, for $400 shipped, you know, in your hands, the most premium original model, this is a good time to jump in. And people ask me that all the time, you know, when can I get a deal? Well, this is a deal, and they'll go quick. I know a lot of people are getting them. So I just wanted to make sure my viewers had the opportunity to get them first. And that's why I'm putting this quick clip in front of my restream of Friday night arcade show. This is just going to be the part with Glenn. The show is pretty long. I'm going to split it into 2 segments, but this is the first one. Thank you for joining me. Let's just get on with this as we meet with arguably one of the best people in this retro home arcade community, someone who's helped us upgrade our cabinets, give us better controls, and let's get it started. Welcome to the stream. Over this music, I'm trying to get the levels right. Is my voice okay over this music? Someone could just acknowledge in the chat. Can you hear me over this? Is it too loud? Shout out to Ichabod Crane. If you have not subscribed to his channel, he does awesome iiRcade content. I just watched a video he did where he had the Beastie Boys. with gameplay of eggs on the iiRcade. Pretty cool stuff. He's got a really fun channel. If you're new to iiRcade content, go check out Ichabod Crane's channel. It's pretty fun. Thank you, Ichabod. Some music are very loud. Okay. Turn that down. Is that better? Welcome to the stream, Dom Juan. Is that better, Tim? How does that sound? Is that okay? I want to make sure that it's kind of balanced. It's always hard to do this. If you have not joined the iiRcadians Facebook, that is an excellent Facebook. If you want a positive Facebook to post things about iiRcade, it's a lot of fun. These are some of the games that have been released probably within the past year or so. Lots of good games on iiRcade right now. We do have a series of videos where we show every game that's available on iiRcade as of last year. So we've actually talked about every single game on the system. That's on the iiRcadians channel and on Papa Brad's Gaming. Got quite a few games online too if you want to check out some online games. You are going to have to make friends because you text people. Like I pretty much message my friends and we play. But it's a very small community. It's not like Xbox. You're not just going to go on and find people playing.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
What was that?
Wow. That was amazing. What an intro. Look at
Kev,
these happy
did you
people.
get into my editing software?
How dare they be happy?
Yeah, and I could probably do a tenth of that. My editing software is
amazing.
cut, paste.
Happy Friday, everyone. Brooklyn Men is back with the Friday Night Arcade Show. Look at all these great hosts we have here tonight.
No.
As always, Papa Brad. And in tonight, we have kevgret and BiggyD's Arcade. What's up, fellas?
Going on?
Man, and look at the big smiles on our faces. It's like we're actually happy. This is the community that's happy.
All right, Brad, let's be serious. Don't tell me that any of you were smiling at 10 a.m. this morning. I think the smiles might have kicked in about 4:35.
Yeah. Well, Escape from Popo, as great as it is, we got a little bit more today.
Well, I don't have Escape from Popo yet, but I'm not reviewing anything. We have a new segment later on tonight. If you stick around,
that's right.
Buy it, try it, or pass. We'll have Brad play the game live, and we'll let you in the chat room decide.
We have something that's exciting tonight. We got something that's we got the man of the hour.
Yeah, does someone want to introduce him?
Yeah, let's do it. The mod father, the godfather of retro gaming is here.
Woo!
Massive shout out for Glenn.
Game on! Game on! Game on! Game on!
There he is. The crowd is going wild.
The mod father. I think I like that.
I know. There you go.
Add that to the mix. Hey guys, great to be here.
It is so good to have you on, Glenn.
Dude.
And it's so good for all the great things you're doing for the iiRcade. Man, that control deck that you're coming out with looks amazing.
I see if I get a better shot of it over here for you guys right now.
All right.
There we go. Glenn is already.
We're getting the inside footage. We're getting the
He's already breaking the
footage.
first rule. If it's working, don't touch anything.
Yeah. That's awesome. And the thing is, it's like, who is this for? This is for anyone that plays arcade games and wants the best controls you could possibly have to play the games. That's who this is for. You
Yeah,
know,
that game deck looks amazing.
push pull spinner, 4-way, 8-way gate switcher,
Volcano buttons at the top.
optical trackball. This is for gamers.
Look at
Like
that
if you
push-pull spinner.
if you
Yeah,
call
look at
yourself
that.
a gamer and you want to have the best controls, this thing is, you know, this is the Ferrari of control
You know what
decks.
the best part is, Brad? You don't have to like Dremel the whole bottom of your machine out. It's gonna fit.
Yeah. Well, you know, I
Wait,
will
who
say
did
this.
that?
I will say this. You know, Dragon's Lair iArcade met Wholesaw. Wholesaw won, but guess what? GRS gate switcher was installed. And I'm gonna be honest, as a user of your product for probably almost a year, I can say that is an upgrade that I would never go without because it improves the gameplay experience.
And that is it right there, close to the camera. That's the one of the early prototypes of the gate switcher on there right now.
Wow.
Now that gate switcher is for San Juan compatibles, which this iArcade control deck here
It's a
was San Juan
Sanwa.
compatible.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
use
So
Sanwa.
So there you go. So that went right on
Sanwa
there, no
controls.
problem. And the beautiful thing about it is I was able to put in my illuminated buttons here. I put 2 of those in, so you don't have to drill any holes because you take out your player 1 and your player 2, and now you get 4 buttons instead of 2 buttons. So one button is your player 1, player 2, and the other one is your 4 and 8-way gate switcher. So
Did you have to redesign the gate so it doesn't go down as deep anymore to fit?
actually, yeah. So we're working on it again. With the manufacturer who makes a servo for us, they actually made one a little bit smaller and actually had a higher torque. So it actually worked out better for us. And that just gave us just enough clearance where it fits inside the gold and the standard without having to do the Dremel of Doom in the bottom of the unit.
I still have nightmares from Brad's video.
You can't see it. I never go back. I never go. You know, as soon as you play Burger Time with perfect 4-way controls, you're like, it's worth it. It's
Brad,
worth it.
if
So
I
that's
did
what
that
also
to mine,
did,
I
my
would
original
throw the
unit.
whole iArcade out.
I put in my Tron sticks. And my Tron sticks, the gate switches actually they're bigger, but they're more shallow. As you can see, those are the gate switchers on there that work with the Tron stick. So this one actually gave you more space, but the joysticks themselves are larger. So you wouldn't be able to put this back inside the wood bottom, but seeing as how people we're going to want to have Sinden light gun support and other USB devices, you won't be able to keep that on the bottom anyway. But lots of different things you can do for sure.
You got options. That's the cool part. Options. It's like just give us the option to do all these cool options.
Well,
You actually are giving more options than I originally expected because of the fact that you're using a separate power brick for it.
Well, that was key. That was key because we were talking with John and Michael a while ago. They already knew that their board, it supplies power, but the Sinden, especially the solenoid in there, requires a lot more power. And the board was never really designed for that, especially the legacy unit. It doesn't have the power requirements. So the best thing to do is to put in a build-in a powered USB hub that will basically be able to support 2 Sinden light guns, be able to support the our control panel with the optical trackball and the gate switchers, the push-pull spinners, and all that stuff, and still give you a little extra for another device, whether it be the GRS 1977 movie, which I have to call it now because I don't want to have John D. Coming after me with that one, or
The
other things,
1977 space opera.
that's the one. That's the
Yeah.
controller.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's actually the 40th anniversary of one of those movies.
Yeah.
that-
We might know what that is. We might be fans of that.
But the big thing now is, and I know that they're very excited about, is the Ikari Warrior stick.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
going to open up a lot of possibilities as well. And in talking to my guys, I'm actually sticking in one last feature on top of it already. That will give you obviously a regular joystick. You have 4 or 8 directions because it's compatible with the Tron gate switcher, so you can put that on there and get the 2 modes. But you'll have an 8 direction locked rotation, 12, 16 different, and a free spinning one. And the reason we're putting the free spinning one in there, mostly like Forgotten Worlds, because Forgotten Worlds didn't have, it was actually a separate spinner as well as the joystick. But now,
Welcome to the show, Stardust
But since that's in
727.
there, Arkanoid, Breakout, other games, you can now use that as
Paddle.
a Hall effect spinner.
Yeah.
So again, I'm trying to give as many options to people out there. I mean, you can still have a separate spinner. Some people may want to have a separate spinner regardless, but I try to give as much value in there as I can. If I see something else we can add, it's not going to cost us anything, but give you guys more of a value or an option. Why not?
Glenn, I was there at iArcade when this whole thing got announced. It almost seems like years ago at this
It was a
point.
while ago.
So it's so exciting to see it all now
Come to life.
coming out and stuff. Yeah.
I got to be
And,
honest. The problem simply was that Bluetooth. I mean, to be honest, the initial way of going through this was to go with the legacy was going through Bluetooth because we really didn't think there's any other way to do it, to be quite honest. And all this time we were going back and forth with lots of different things, and we kind of found a loophole in the architecture, and we took a chance, exploited it, and it worked, and it works very well. So it's more advantageous to go down that path because even if we did the Bluetooth, which would have been fine, we would have lost two things. One, you would have not had the push-pull spinner. You would simply had regular spinners. That would have been the first thing. So already now, the games you had would have been a little bit different between your gold and your legacy. We don't want that. We want you guys to have the same experience on both. And of course, the last would have been Sinden light gun support. Now, there is always the possibility of doing that still over Bluetooth, but I don't care what anyone says. Bluetooth will always have some latency. I mean, I don't care how good you get, it's not going to be the same as a hard line. And as a gamer, as we all know, someone who doesn't game a lot probably wouldn't notice. But someone who plays these games probably would notice. And I don't want that. When I release something, I want it to be something I'd want to own, something I'd want to play.
You know, iArcade, a lot of people are they love chasing leaderboards. I mean, like, you know, I know a lot of people, you know, it's a machine where people do like to play, you know, and get on the leaderboard. So I think having great control is going to be a huge benefit.
Yeah, Glenn, this may be like an unpopular thing to say, but as someone who owns both the Gen 1 and the Gold, I'm actually more excited for the other controls that are going to be on there. You know, because I can already use the light gun because there's way more games on iArcade that you can play with the other control options that you're adding that are going to just bring new life to those games.
Well, I was talking to Michael and John. You know, there are some games on there that really are paddle games, but using a joystick, and that drives me nuts.
It's difficult.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Jocks is unplayable in its current state. You just can't play that game.
Yeah,
Right.
Gox is
It's like-
difficult.
Yeah.
And
That
then we
joystick
were wondering
ruins it.
about Gox because you not only can move back and forth with your paddle, but you can move the player forward and backwards a bit. So we had looked it up a while back on the show, but there was also some of those with push-pull spinners. So when you announced the push-pull spinner, that's the first game I thought of. It's going to be great playing that. Yeah, because I don't like playing it with joystick. It just,
and speaking of that
too
as
hard.
well, the Akari Warrior stick, I keep forgetting to mention, also has a push-pull as well. So you have 8 directions, you have all the different gates, but it's also a push-pull.
Wow.
So even if you put that in the free mode, use it like a paddle, you would still have push-pull functions as you would with the push-pull spinner in here. Again, some of the stuff is redundant between my different products, but that's okay because I want someone who say I can only afford one thing have all those controls. But if they want it to be accurate to the arcade, they may have to buy a separate part to do that. My big thing I'm still pushing for is to get my 1977 Space Opera controller on here because to be quite honest, it's an analog joystick, it's a mouse, or it's a mouse stationary where you move it, the metal will move it to a spot. Operation Wolf, Operation Thunderbolt, those type of games actually work extremely well with that as well because it actually kind of mimics the original joystick that was in it because the original joystick wasn't a light gun. The original joystick was a joystick with potentiometers. So we can mimic that mode very well with the that controller. But we still have other controls as well, like obviously the Sinden guns you guys have and it's supported. But you know, I'm
some
having my
racing
own.
games too would be good with it. Like I like the racing games, using the yoke to play racing games.
And it works great with that. But we are coming out with, and it's been delayed because I keep pushing it for other products. We have our own racing wheel. We have a racing wheel with gear shifter and gas and brake pedals, but it keeps getting pushed back for the other things. But that's one of the things on of the unit here of the mounts. So you can screw and lock in the controllers like the steering wheel to put on there. But like with the Sinden, I mean, I have a partnership with Sinden, and we're going to make guns for them. We have our first
Yeah.
one that hopefully I'll be able to.
Yep.
If it wasn't held up in some warehouse somewhere, I'd have it to show you guys today. But it's real wood. It's got real weight and
Wow.
heft to it.
What?
And
Wood
once
gun.
this goes down the path, I think my partnership with them, we are going to be expanding that line, like maybe making Uzi or other kind of.
Let's do a quick pause right here. We do have some great dual stick shooters right now on iArcade. There are two that are really phenomenal. One of them is called Saturn. It's basically a reimagining of Robotron. It's it's retro, but it's also modern, but it's fantastic. I would say it's as good as the arcade game Robotron. And another one we have that's really great on iArcade is Galaxy Champions TV. It's basically a clone of Smash TV, and it plays a lot like Smash TV. It's a lot of fun. It's a great dual stick game. So we have two really great dual stick games right now. And
Guns people may want to have shotguns, AK-47, things like that, or maybe even make it modular where you have the the camera and solenoid, and we just make the different cases. You can actually drop that in. It's a savings, but it's almost like a Wii remote. You can buy the different types of controllers to your liking.
So on your Sinden guns, did you do something other than the looks and the feel of it, feeling like a real gun? Did you do something different? Or is it still just a Sinden, but you're making it more of a realistic feel?
Since this is our first portray in working with him, he is very, and I understand you completely, he's very protective of his technology. And, as you guys know, my technology has been borrowed in the past by a number of companies, and it sucks. So I don't blame him for that at all. But I think once we show what we can do, and I think he's already seeing that now, we're gonna have more of a collaboration between the two, because there are definitely things I'd like to enhance to it. I'd like to do a lot of upgrades to his tech, to increase a lot of accuracy, to increase range, light. The only bad thing really with the Sinden is if there was a lot of light in the room, it could potentially cause a problem with the gun tracking. But like I was showing you before on the other show, the cool thing about it is I have two separate monitors here, and I can point my gun to one screen and shoot and play, and go right literally to the other screen during active gameplay, and go to the second screen.
I need to try
and
that.
It works.
Wow.
What other light gun can do that? I tell you right now, none. So if we can eliminate the small things, like I want to be able to take that Sinden gun and go to like one of the gaming conventions and put it up in a huge monitor and play it that way.
How
now,
cool is that?
again, an IR gun, I don't know how it's going to work, because you need the IR sensors. They have to be able to track the gun. This just needs to see the border. So I think in the future, I'm very Italian and German, so I talk a lot. The long answer is yes, I would like to do some enhancements to his technology, but as of right now, it's really just his tech and improved housings.
Hey, Glenn, on that Operation Wolf and Thunderbolt, are you enjoying playing it more on the iArcade or the ALU?
That's a tough one, because I was watching, Super Game Room Dudes before, and P-Dubs was saying how much he likes the ALU. And I have to admit, I love the ALU as well. It's just a Swiss Army knife. It comes to your taste. The arcade one-ups were good for a time because it was machines that kind of looked like an asteroid or a centipede, and that's why you bought those. The ALU, when that came out, it was literally the Swiss Army knife. It does everything. And as you can see right now, I'm pumping the iArcade into its HDMI in as a secondary display. But the iArcade has its niche too. I still feel, and I've spoken about this all the times, they need to get more games. That's all it really comes down to. They have some good games. They absolutely have some good games on there. But we know that the ALU is going to be replacing the processor in it and getting a stronger CPU. So, like anything, like any
Glenn, are they building the Death Star over there? Because I said in my latest walk and talk, I said, meanwhile, in the background, At Games is building the Death Star, and a lot of people like that. A lot of people like that comment, and some people they didn't like it too much.
Well, the thing is, nothing, especially gaming and technology, nothing stays stagnant for long. Okay, you got to stand time. The iArcade had a very long lead time They had the most powerful, and still right now, still have the most powerful machine on the market. They need to capitalize that before it's too late. They still have time, because even if ALU does put that processor in there, the problem with that is you have different people with different levels of processor, different boards. It's not the same. The gold and the legacy, technically, processor-wise, memory-wise, is the same. So
Yeah.
they still have that core market where they can build out great games that push at every piece of performance. They simply need to work with more vendors, and they are. I can tell you right now that I can't tell you too much because I have an NDA with them, but they
Mhm.
are working with people. But they need to get those games out because everyone knows that it doesn't matter if you have the best hardware out there. If you don't have the games to
Yeah, it's all about the
support it,
games. Uh-huh.
it's
Yep.
all about the games, right?
Yeah,
And they don't have
yeah.
to be. They don't have to be the most incredible games. Look at Tetris. It's a very simple game, but it's a freaking awesome game. Space Invader is not the most elaborate game, but it's an awesome game. But the iiRcade is capable of so much more, and
Yeah.
I think they need to get some of those. They do have some on there, but they have to get more of that and sooner. I mean, Popo.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that
Yeah,
when I was a kid
yeah.
playing that game.
I like
It's
Saturn.
it's
I like
basically
Saturn.
dodging.
Saturn's a little bit more down my alley than the Popo game. I mean, I played the
Yeah.
Popo game, and believe me, I love Atari. I'm a huge retro gamer. I mean, I have a ton of Atari cartridges. But I want to see more of the modern and the retro modern games on
Right.
iiRcade. Stuff that, and I want to not the games that you can play anywhere because like the people that are hardcore into arcade. We've had Raspberry Pis, we've had main builds, we've had all this stuff. We can play so many of these games, I mean, I'm looking for new experiences, and they're giving you a lot on iiRcade, and that's one of the things I
Right.
love about it.
Right. They do
Donut
give
Dodo to me was a better get than them getting Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Because I could play Pac-Man anywhere,
Donut Dodo, I know it was on Steam and get other platforms, but I love it on the iiRcade. I don't know why. but I
Wizard
just
of
love playing
Walls,
that
another
game.
one that's really great on the iiRcade.
Yes.
Like more of those.
I wish
Yeah.
they'd get Wizard of Walls online. That would add so much more to that game.
That would.
If you could do 2-player Wizard of Walls, that
Mhm.
would be phenomenal. It really would. I love that game.
I've
That
done
would be
local
really good.
2-player,
You
and
can do
it's a lot
two-player
of fun.
now. You just
The
can't do
maze
it
gets bigger.
online.
It's great.
Yeah.
So if you could do 2-player online, that would just wake that game back up again.
Yeah, last I heard from Michael, the developer has to implement that.
Yes,
They
on
don't
that
have
one.
any
Yeah,
part of
that's they're not going to do
Yeah.
that from probably what I hear. Hey Glenn, if somebody hasn't purchased their Sinden gun yet, what should we wait for your gun to come out? Are we talking months, weeks, or is it something that we should probably just
I'm
get
hoping like by summer. Maybe.
summer?
Oh, wow.
Okay,
That's
To
cool.
be
Yep.
quite honest.
then I'm
I
gonna
would
wait.
never wait though. I mean, the
Ish.
Sinden gun, it's a nice gun. I like it. Ours is going to be more like the buck hunter type of rifle. It's more of that type of game. To have the wood
Nice.
on there,
Mm.
the bolt action on there, be nice. But some people want
It's pretty dope.
going with the larger gun right now. But the good thing
Okay.
about that gun is it will work with the iiRcade. It will work with your PC. It will work with your Pi, and
Nice.
we'll make it work with that other company as well to
Uh-huh.
replace their guns because they're not so good.
So I've been seeing those light gun builds for the ALU, and something I've been hearing is those are not as accurate as say Operation Wolf is on the iiRcade because it's been developed and made by Taito for the iiRcade. So it's like pinpoint accuracy. Do you feel that way, or is that just something I'm hearing?
No, I could probably agree with that. First of all, I'm half blind anyway, but what I can see, it looks like it's pretty accurate. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, the game itself is just a fun game, both Operation Wolf and Thunderbolt. I'm still more partial to Wolf, just because it's the first experience I had in the arcade was that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing about the iiRcade is, and you're right, like when you go to an arcade one-up, generally it's just the ROM dumped in the machine, and sometimes not even the true arcade ROM. It could be like an offshoot of it. But the iiRcade, they customize it, and they talk to the company, they work with the developers, and it does get customized for the machine, and that does make for John gets more money from me, and an experience that improves it. What I would like to still see though is, I know they've been working on it, I would like to see a more easy way to purchase the games and get it on here than the app and going that
I
path.
believe they're working on it.
They
Yeah,
are.
I think they're
They
gonna
are.
have a store on the cab.
Correct,
soon.
and that's how it should be.
Mhm.
I mean, I would like to just be in front of the machine. Oh, that game looks good. Bam, Just get it
Yeah.
and you go.
Michael gives us little hints, but as much heat as he catches every week on social media, like iiRcade, like you can't break that guy. I always said if he's not at iiRcade, they should hire him at Area 51 because that
he
guy
would be
can
good.
keep
He's a good keeper of secrets. He doesn't let anything.
Thunderbolt was announced today, and that was
he doesn't let anything slide.
I had no clue that there was a Thunderbolt coming out
And
today.
for the people that say Operation Wolf is impossible, this game is so much easier. I mean, this is like Operation Wolf is college, and this is elementary school. I mean, it's easier.
Well, it's impossible to beat because I can't beat the last level.
What?
I can't beat the last level.
Yeah, I played so much Operation Wolf. I was like breezing through the game. I was like, it's fun.
It
was just
trigger
fun.
On your gun. I can't imagine it on your gun. You're like,
dude. When you need a gorilla to test that control panel, you throw it to me. If it survives,
you're on top of the list.
If it survives a week with me, it's amazing.
Yeah, when you said earlier today that you have these million press buttons. Yeah. For Brad, that's like
how many
10
presses is that for Papa Brad?
It's like 10.
Dude,
and it's over.
My big blue control panel just stopped working mid Street Fighter. I'm playing the game.
I wonder why.
I'm doing moves, and it's just like everything stopped. It's like, but shout out to Steps Gaming. She helped me diagnose it and get it, figure out what's wrong and get it fixed. So thank you.
Hey, Glenn.
A lot of cool people in the chat today.
With all this talk about Michael stressing the importance of them being a software company now and not so much a hardware company, are you factoring in later on down the line to a bigger announcement that's going to happen? Because we're all confused as to how they're not going to produce cabinets, but yet in order to sell games, you have to sell cabinets. So, and they already ruled out a console version of the iiRcade. So I'm just wondering, later on down the line, it sounds like somebody has to take over either the manufacturing for them or they're partnering.
Welcome to the stream, Goofyfoot.
Big announcement. I know you can't talk, but is there something bigger that you're involved in? So we hope you're involved in the next the next big announcement of what they're trying to freeze into.
We have Glenn surrounded. We'll get it out of him.
Yeah, get the guns out. It's just hard for us to figure out what their next step is, right? We've talked about it on the show last time, but I'm confused. They're saying they're a software company, but the only way to make money these days is to get more cabinets out there and more hardware. Especially with these guns being announced, Glenn, like, why would you make these decks if they're, quote, no longer making hardware? You know what I mean? So I'm hoping they're holding their cards so close and they're just going to drop something that we've never seen coming.
Perhaps.
And that you're involved in it. You know what I mean? Because it only makes sense, that your evolution of what you're doing with iiRcade.
Well, you got to think of it this way. I mean, they're building an ecosystem, right? And so at games, some of the stuff at the ad games doesn't make sense to me. Like their arcade net doesn't make a lot of sense to me how they have it implemented. Mm-hmm. But the iiRcade does have an ecosystem, so I would just take it as that for the company to make money, they need to sell games, and to sell games in an ecosystem, you have to have hardware to lock them into, like an iPhone type of thing.
Yeah.
So I would say that best I could say is they do hold their cards very close to them. They are working on something, and that's about all I can.
Okay, that's all we need to know.
They're working on something.
And on the topic of
not going out of business tomorrow.
Real quick.
Not tomorrow. It's not coming tomorrow now.
All right, we'll let Brad finish. Go ahead, Brad.
I'm done. They're not going out of business tomorrow.
We all yell over each other on this show. But on the topic of hardware, if you don't own an iiRcade, now is a very good time to pick one up because iiRcade did announce for this weekend only until Sunday, you can get the Retromania Wrestling cabinet, which is one of the upgraded cabinets. You have more memory in there.
Gigabyte.
It's $299, but we just want to make this clear. I know Michael made it clear, but I think somebody might have made a mistake on the website. It is not free shipping, so it's usually like 100 shipping. If there is so $399, let's say you can get and it's still well worth it.
Well, I gotta say, less than a deluxe cab from Arcade One Up. Mm-hmm. You look at the hardware you get on an iiRcade. If you're buying it just to play shooters, I mean, the shooter library alone is worth buying that cab. Mm-hmm. Just the
you also think about it too. Even if it's $399, you can add a lot of games in the library. If you buy an Arcade One Up, you get what you got. unless you're modding the
Yeah.
cabinet. And
Yes,
you're
and it
throwing
also
money at
comes
it.
with the Retromania wrestling game, which is
Oh, yeah,
one of
those
the most
games too, like
expensive games on the store.
Dragon's
And
Lair,
it comes with
Space Ace are
Saturn, which
free
is
games.
arguably one of the best games.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
Sandwall controls as well. Genuine.
But they have a lot of other free games in there, like the Dragon's Lair series, Space
Dragon's
Ace is a
Lair.
free game. They have a lot of good free games. The Beach
Double
Buggy Racing,
Dragon.
I still
Beach
play that
Buggy,
one
yep.
like crazy. I love
I
that.
highly enjoy that game.
Yeah.
I see,
Yeah,
that's
when
one
I
thing
first
too,
turned mine
that
on,
needs a
Dragon's Lair is
spinner
impressive.
or the steering wheel going on it. The joystick drives me nuts in that game.
Yeah.
So,
I get a lot of play out of Beach Buggy Racing. So much I haven't even gotten to part 2 yet.
Dude, 2 just ramps everything up. It's just
Yeah, I
bigger.
heard, I
it's
heard.
but when you
better.
think about it, even at $3.99, the amount of free games, because you do get those games, and then there's more free games in the library. You just would download after the fact. It's you take $50 per game on those.
Exactly.
Cabinet's
Yeah.
pretty much almost free, to be quite honest.
Well,
Yeah.
well, if the standard free games is 10, let's say you're getting them, then let's just say you're a fan of R-Type. You're getting all the R-Type games as a bonus. Let's say, heaven forbid, you like Load Runner. You're getting all 4 of those games on the cabinet, or 5 games with the Legacy. And it's like you can get complete series on this cabinet. And
Yeah.
then, like Brad
And
says,
it's
you
running
get the
the
whole
thing is-
Pope-
the
Get
thing
some
is-
Popo
the-
real cheap. Get some Popo in there.
it gets
Like some
That's
Popo.
right. The
What
thing
is
with
it, Poo-Poo?
iArcade, the thing with iArcade though is it's all a la carte, so you can just pick the stuff you like,
Right.
Yeah.
and you can try it before you buy it. Man, you get
Yeah.
30 minutes. You
Which
can
is
pop
good.
that game in there. You can play it some. If you don't like it, please don't buy it. But if you like it, it allows you to build a custom game lineup in your multicade.
I may
I'm
only need
seeing
5
too-
minutes with Run from the Popo, but that's just me.
And the
I-
other good part is, even if you get a machine like, I know the WrestleMania is was 128
Yep.
Yeah.
gigabyte of RAM.
Yep.
It is.
Even if you had 64, like I got 64, if you're out of space, you simply offload the game. It goes back to your store
Yeah.
spot. So really, memory is not really an issue as far as
Not
storage
an
goes.
issue.
You just pop
Not
some
an
out
issue.
and put it on.
Brad
So
has
for-
every game, and he
I have
hasn't
every
run
game,
out
and
of
it's,
space yet.
I haven't ran out of space on any of them.
Exactly. So
I have the
that's the other
64
thing.
gigs, so I mean, you got double that on this. If you get this Retromania, you got double that. So
Right.
so that's
And the
not.
other
This is gonna be a
Good
factor.
thing is, I mean, I have 2 cabinets. Some people have 1.
Mhm.
But if you do have multiple cabinets, when you purchase the one game, you could download it on multiple
can.
cabinets. So it's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
you have to buy
Yeah,
it here,
that's
buy it
awesome.
here, buy it here. You could download it
And-
multiple times.
And it's not. You don't have to log in. The thing that drives me crazy with the at games, you always have to log in. Like log in,
5
log in,
times,
log
it's
in.
nuts.
Everything's not tied to your account. Like your game, once it's downloaded, it's in there forever. Unless you delete it. Like even if iArcade was gone tomorrow, that game is in there. It's like having a real arcade game. It's
You don't
in the
like,
machine permanently.
You don't like playing the best at games game ever? I hope my email password works this time. And then you type it in and it says your at games account. Wait, which account? And then I go back. Oh, it's so frustrating when it doesn't keep you.
We're
logged in.
launching
I
a new
always get
game.
logged
We're
out, but
we're launching
they're
a new
kind of
pack of
fixing that
games.
up.
Our servers are down. You
down.
can't even log in.
Oh,
It's
I'm
like-
starting to notice a change in like the home arcade community and just people that are into these. It's more going multi-cade, less these 1-2 game arcade cabinets. It's just we don't have the room for them anymore. We're having to sell cabinets to make room, and it's becoming a harder sell to give someone a cabinet with 1 or 2 games on it. It just
Oh,
it
there's
doesn't
two
make
parts.
sense
I think
anymore.
you're right. I mean, when it first came out, people had room, and they did that. Multicades were around even before then, but you're right.
yeah.
The other part is,
exactly.
I honestly think the arcade wanted to price themselves out of their own market. To be quite
Totally.
honest, when they came out at $2.99, originally they were going to be $3.99. Originally, then they dropped it to $2.99, and I thought for $2.99, I thought they were a great deal. Even with the problems that they had with the crappy rotary
Yeah.
spinner and other things, I thought for $2.99, I thought that was a good deal. And now $500, $600, $700.
Yeah.
No, and to be quite honest, I don't see where that money's going to. It's not going into, as much as they want people to believe that it's going into the machine. It's going into their profits. It's just not.
Yeah.
Maybe some to the licensing. I get it. Some licenses do cost money, but they released a 54th different version of the Pac-Man, so they're making money there. But I just think that they've really overpriced their cabinets out because, like you said, even if you buy a T2, which is a very nice cabinet, it's only got the one game, so for that I can go for. But when sometimes you get like The Simpsons, you got a couple of games on there, and that's it. When you could buy the iArcade, and you come out of the gate with like 10 games on it for free for the price, and be able to add other games is more of a value. Not everyone knows how to do mods. Like I said, I have to make sure my
Yeah,
panel
that's
here
true.
is going to be very easy to do. Basically, if you can pick up a screwdriver
Yeah.
and turn a couple screws, you're going to be good. It's not the same as someone taking an arcade one up, gutting the monitor, and putting a Pi or
Yeah, that's a
PC in
whole
there
different
and
level.
wiring the
Yeah.
control panel.
That's a
Yeah.
whole different
That's
That's
like
a
a
level.
totally different level.
week-long job,
Uh-huh.
to figure out the whole Raspberry Pi mod and all that. And it's with your deck, it's going to be pretty simple. It sounds like you just plug
It
it
is.
in, follow the instructions, and you're good.
It is. And if you want to go that route, instead of getting an arcade, you get yourself a GRS Buildercade instead.
There you go.
Shameless plug. There you
Beautiful.
go.
There you
Okay, I'll
go.
throw those in.
You know,
Yeah, I
we
have
to
one of
all-
those. I just need my
You just
pie.
need your pie, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's like
I'm
all
gonna
of
let you
us.
guys on a little secret. I'm gonna let you guys in a little secret here. Now, GRS is working on our own SBC, and if all goes according to plan, it will best a Pi 4 or equal or best a Pi 4. So I know ETA Prime is gonna probably do a review and lose his mind on it, and we're gonna try and get it
Wow.
under $40.
Wow.
So
That's what I'm talking about. Like
What?
this Glen is for the gamers and iArcade is for the gamers. I mean,
right.
you know,
when does
they're-
when does Glenn sleep again? I mean, he just announced like
saying.
8 things that I didn't know he was working on tonight.
Hey, we
There's
have
still
a
more.
bunch of gamers in the chat room, and I kind of feel
I know. You
bad
need to
that we
say
haven't even
something.
said hello yet.
Yeah.
Who wants to
Phoenix.
say hi tonight? It's not going to be me, but
We
who
got
wants to
the
say hi?
Godfather here. We got to give
All-
him his respect first, Brooklyn, and now we can give the chat their
Oh,
respect.
All right.
Please,
Let's
it's all
say-
about the community. Forget about
We'll,
me.
we'll let Brad do it. Brad, try to get
All
through
right,
as
Brad.
quick as possible before
Okay.
Glenn disappears and never comes back again.
P Dubs is
What?
That's right. I
what
cut
was
you
that,
off, Brad, because you
Cut
know
me
the
right
rules
off on
over here.
P-Dubs.
You
Anyway,
don't talk until I played a little promo.
Yeah.
Oh my
P
God.
Dubs is legit. We got Carl O. Carl O, congratulations on getting an iArcade. Welcome to the community. Jason M is here. Old Man Kaiju's here. Rich Dello, PD7, the originator of the Walk and Talk. Awesome guy. We got Miami Tiger Arcade, Scott Lee, Mitchell B, Made in Canada, To Die For, Bobby Vu, Sacro. I think I said Mitchell B. Arcade Talk. Hey, what's up, T. McCloskey? Dean 33. I'm scrolling. We got BiggyD. We got Goofy Foot here. Welcome to the show. We got Paul here. Welcome to the show, Paul. We got Jason here.
Brad,
I'm
hold on
scrolling.
1 second.
I'm
Did you
scrolling.
say Mitchell B?
Yeah.
That's right, Mitchell B.
Awesome.
Welcome to
Woo!
the
Welcome
inner
to the
sanctum.
Chill
Welcome-
Army, baby.
welcome to the
Officially a
shill.
shill member.
We're
You're a shill.
getting strong one by one.
And we got Rainwater here. We've
Rainwater
got
Games.
Rich Dello, Andy's Game Room. Is it Soko Juggalo 22?
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Ignore all the
They
juggalos.
seem,
in
they
there.
seem
Okay.
out of
Welcome to
Brooklyn.
the
They
show.
seem like they
They're
don't
just
know
here
what's
for
going
me.
on. They don't know. They're like, what is
we got
this?
Steps. We got Brother Bill.
Double
I guess
down
gotta-
11.
gotta pop up.
Is he one of your juggalos?
Juggalos like video games too.
They're all here.
They're just here to get me.
Well,
in trouble.
anyway, thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching.
Well, let's be honest. They're here for Glenn. They're not.
Yeah, they're not here for us, please.
We're all in the community, and that's all it's really about. That's all
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
ever cared about was, us. I am no
I
different
know.
than any one of you guys playing out there. I just want to make sure that when these companies are doing stuff, that we get our money's worth, we get our value. from it.
Absolutely.
And I can't thank everyone enough for all the support I've gotten. I've had some hard knocks down, and you guys have helped and defended me, and that
Dude.
helps keep me going. Because I
Stand
know-
with Glenn.
well, the thing is, people thinking I'm making, Glenn's, I see comments once in a while. Well, Glenn's doing this and he's taking all the money, or he's,
Yeah.
Young was supposed to make his board
Dude.
and Glenn's taking all the money. When I tell you, I am,
You made our
More like
machines
losing
playable.
I,
You
I
made our
lose
you,
money.
you took stuff that was garbage, that was unplayable, and you made it where it was playable. I mean,
That's what people to realize. Like, I'm really not making a dime. If anything, I've been losing dimes, but I'm doing it because I want to make sure that I want these games to live on. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I really want these older games to live on, and that's probably why I'm also a little disenchanted with Arcade One, because there were still so many games from the '80s
Mhm.
that could use some loving, and they went right to these other games, which I could really cared about personally. But I need these old games to survive, and I also want these old games to survive with controls that are accurate for those machines. And that's why, like, I really get ticked off when I see companies releasing, like the spinner they released with the
Mhm.
asteroid machine. That really was just like horrible. And in all unfairness,
Unplayable.
if you will, even New Wave
Unplayable.
Toys. I love New Wave Toys, but their Tempest cabinet had the same little
Mhm.
crappy little spinner in there. Um, and I just don't like that. I want, when we spend
It's
our
got to
money,
spin.
it's got to spend. But I
It's
want
got
to
to
make sure we
spin.
spend our money, we're getting our value for it. I don't want to get cheap stuff, because we're paying, I think, top dollar for a lot of these things. We shouldn't have shitty product, or even worse, not being tested properly, releasing something to find out it's a shit show when it was released. That really gets me, because
Mhm.
they should know better. They should know better before they start taking your money. Make sure what they're releasing is at least 99% there. There's always going to be mistakes here and there, and you can fix it later. But don't release absolute crap garbage to the markets. We'll fix it in 6, 10, 12 months later down the road, whatever. We'll get to it. That really irks me, because that's a complete, in my opinion, a complete slap in the face of all of you and me
Yeah.
who are spending the money on and supporting these companies.
You can't be
Let's
talking
do
about
this
MV.
1 minute,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I gotta cut in.
I love that.
Big thank you to
Who's
P
it?
Dubs
Who-
Arcade
oh,
Love. He
P-Dubs.
just gifted 10 memberships.
Wow.
And
All
YouTube
right.
hates me so much.
Uh-huh.
And I'm saying this is a conspiracy. So far, I've only seen it give it to 2 people, one which is already a member.
Hey, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
I believe you have to
That's
turn
some-
that on in the settings.
Uh-huh.
YouTube just won't pick you unless you somehow go in
Uh.
and say accept membership. So there's a setting in YouTube that you have to turn on before you can start getting.
Well, he
views.
he gave out 10 P
Yeah.
Dubs. That
Should
was really nice
That's
of you.
awesome.
Just give them out, shouldn't it?
No. It can only give them out to people that have the option turned on their setting. So if you have
Thanks, P
people in
Dubs. Now I got about 10 more hours of editing for the beginning of the show and the end of it.
Yeah. Have fun. Shout out to Video Game Vegas. Welcome to the stream.
Glenn, I did have a question for you
Sure.
on GRS products. Is this something you do full time, or is this something you do on the side?
No, this is definitely something I do on the side. I have a full-time job. I work
Okay.
for New Vance Health System, so I'm a employee for hospitals in New York and Connecticut. I've been in healthcare now for 16 years. IT for God since '89. So that's a full-time job. And then I'm a single parent. Been raising my son since he's been 4. Unfortunately, lost my wife to cancer. Hence why I always tell people at the end of my videos, tell your family and friends that you love them, because tomorrow's never promised. You never know. So I've been that's been a full-time job. I have my YouTube channel, which I started 8 years ago, doing that, and then this as well. So this is definitely a passion project for myself, but there's really no money in it, at least not yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day, Nolan Bushnell or something like that will come to me and say, "Hey, come work for me." But that hasn't happened yet. So
Glenn,
How did
when-
you learn to work with electronics in all these games? Is that something that you just
Oh, my
picked up
father- no,
by
my
your
father
love
hated
for
me.
video games?
my father hated me. Remember back in the day, there was no video games, and then there were little LCD calculators that were coming out. They were very expensive. I mean, these calculators are like back in early '70s, like $60, $70. It was like $400 today. My father bought one from Caldors. If anyone knows Caldors, it was like
Caldor.
like a Walmart back in the day.
Yep.
And I took it apart. My father had it like 2 days. I took this damn thing. I took this expensive thing apart, and that's what I always did. I would take things apart and tinker with them, either break them or not, and keep them working. But that's kind of where I started.
Yeah,
because I always had a
100%.
passion and an
That's the
inkling.
list right there.
Funny fun fact:
Must
my
haves.
grandfather had the first TV repair shop in the Bronx, so I definitely
Wow.
got that gene. And so that's kind of where that kind of came from. I'm very hardware oriented. I'm not so much like I love playing video games, but I enjoy the hardware aspect of it more. I mean, I definitely like playing the games, but if I had a choice of, playing a game or finding an old Bally Astrocade home console to repair, I would jump on that in an instant. I just
Yeah.
love getting those old things working again.
Nice.
So when home arcades first started coming around, that probably had to really get you excited
Yeah.
because
It
there
did.
was so many control issues at first.
Yeah.
Because I bought a Gen 1 arcade one up because I was blown away when they came out with the 12-in-1 Atari cabinet. But then you go to try to play Tempest and you go to spin the spinner and it just clicks and
It
doesn't
just sits
spin.
there. Yep.
I
And it
remember
made the game
people
it
trying.
made the game unplayable.
It was horrible. I mean,
So I
when
found your spinner and it was hard to get at that time.
it was. I remember everyone telling me, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of big YouTubers saying, "You gotta get it now because it doesn't stay in stock." But when they first announced it, I was blown away because I was a huge fan of Asteroids and Centipede. All the machines they did with Gen 1 cabinets, I was like, I gotta get it. And I gotta be honest, what Chizcom was very good to a lot of us in the early days. They allowed me at the time to be their official webpage, the official Arcade One fan page back in the day, which obviously soured recently to the point where it's
Oh my
definitely
goodness.
that's a whole other thing.
Oh
But
my goodness.
I have to admit, back in the early days, it was very different. When it was just Scott Baccarat at the time, it was a very different company. They were new, and they were embracing the community. And I think they got too big for the bridges. I think their heads swelled up. I'm just being honest. The heads swelled up. They thought they were the cat's meow and everything else. And to a point, they are. They're the biggest fish in the sea. They are the biggest fish in the sea. There's no question about that. But that doesn't mean you can start just delivering shoddy products or over promising something and then delivering something and finding that the stuff's not there. And I think that's hurting them now. I really think that
Yeah.
I said it in
Yeah.
January. I had the
Yeah.
whole thing basically in January, a whole big blow up with Arcade One Up. And I think this has been the worst year for them. I mean, they weren't even around in a couple of years in 2018. Or 2018? I think they started. It was 2018 when they started. And I think this year has been horrible for them. But I think they've also caused those problems for themselves.
Exactly.
To be quite honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ad
Yeah.
games have been around a lot longer, and I think they'll be around a lot longer after Arcade One Up is long gone.
Yeah.
And I think iArcade right now is in a crossroads. I'm just being honest. I think they have the opportunity to become like an Ad Games and go in for the long haul, but they need to increase the games, and not just again they have all the genres kind of covered, but they do need to give more games on there because we've been having it since day one. I've had my machine since the launch, so all the games on there, the games that's on there, we want more, and that's the one thing that the At Games machine has the plus on because you can just add your own games to it.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on what you want to do because not everyone knows how to do that. I mean, I
Yeah.
know we think it's so easy to do. There's a lot of people have no idea. They want to simply pick up a phone or pick up a machine. I want
Write a
that
check.
game, put it
Yeah.
on there, and
Hey.
charge it and go.
Yeah.
And that's iArcade's golden egg, and they need to capitalize on that now. This is their opportunity to do that. Because like I said, I think Arcade One Up right now has been stumbling. If they're running the long 10-mile run, they're stumbling right now. This new Fast and Furious cabinet, I think, is garbage.
Yeah.
I know people are getting the pre-orders. They'll probably like it for a couple of days and get bored, and then that'll be it.
And they're gonna have 4 of them.
They're going through a transition.
Look, I
right
have 4 of them linked now.
with
Right.
the parts. They're charging for parts now. So that's,
Yeah.
a totally new thing for them, and it's a transition for them, and something they probably should have been doing from the very beginning. But we've gotten used to getting free parts, and now we're having to pay for them. Like my PCB just went out on my pinball, and I got to pay them $60 plus shipping, and I got to send them the old PCB back so they can refurbish it. So this is all new, and they're having to change up their business model now.
And that's actually, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That I think is actually nothing wrong with that as long as they have the ability to do that. The problem is though, if you are under warranty, and I've seen this a lot, if you're actually under warranty and you can't get the part or they deny you the part,
Mhm.
that's where the problem lies. I very validly purchased it and I have the warranty on here and it breaks. I shouldn't have to give you my blood, sweat, tears, and 2 kids to get that part, or I shouldn't have to wait 8 months to get that part as well.
Yeah, like for instance, mine's out of stock right now, so they want me to pay for it, and then I wait for it to come in stock. Who knows when that will be?
Well, they have like 6,000 of these in a warehouse. Just go rip open a box and take it out and ship it to you, Biggie. That's the rumor. They can't sell these crappy
Biggie,
things.
get rid of that. Just get a Legends pinball.
Yeah.
Be good.
Yeah,
I have to
I'm gonna
admit,
fix
you
it
know,
when
the
it's forward.
Yeah,
Legends,
Legends Pinball's
I
great.
got the micro of the
ALP.
mini.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I mean, I'm impressed
Yeah.
how well that they did with that little machine.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. And it's 1080p, and now they
Yeah.
can do 4K apparently. On
And
it.
meanwhile, At Games is building the Death Star in the background. And
Yeah, I
meanwhile,
think we'll get to see that in Cleveland, hopefully, because they said
Yeah, I'll
they're
be
going to
there.
be for sale
I'll
in
be in
November.
Cleveland. I'm going to be out in that show. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
excited
a
to see
special
everyone.
guest at that show.
I am. My mother said I was
Nice.
special when I was born.
Maybe you can
Awesome.
have your
Special.
show your panels off, Glenn. By that time, it'll be out. You can maybe show
Yeah.
it off, right? We could be,
and the At Games is like the NASA of the home arcade community too. I mean, they have the engineering they have is really good,
yeah,
and you got to be willing to get your hands a little dirty. You got to get in there.
yeah.
You know,
Gotta
You
work.
And I
it
know
out
this
the
is like-
hole.
those C's.
This
Find
is like
some
an
of them illegal
iiRcade show,
ROMs.
but we
But
all of
you
us
can
here
do a
are
lot
huge
with
fans
it.
of At Games.
But with the
Well,
iiRcade,
it's-
it's easy
it's
mode.
funny,
It's
though.
like
But it's funny when you talk about At Games because there was a
Mhm.
time where they were the joke.
Oh, they were.
When you mentioned
yeah.
Well,
At
with their mini
Games,
consoles, they
Those
were
plug
they
and
were bad.
plays.
you thought
once
it
they
was a
came out with the
throwaway
Legends series,
toy. That
Yeah,
was
a
it.
video.
the Legends series flipped it.
Whoever
PK
popped up
designed
for
those
me
legends.
today.
Put
for
a
Glenn.
put a stick in the sand and said, okay, at this point we're going to
Yep.
change our. And it wasn't overnight.
No.
The Legends still had a lot of flack in the beginning. People like it's garbage, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Yep.
It took time. So I applaud them for what they've done. And you know what they do? They respect the community.
Mhm.
Wow. You respect the community and the people in it? That's amazing right there.
Wait,
Same
you
with
mean-
Jong.
PK's not on stream vaping, calling us a-holes.
Yeah.
I've never seen PK do that.
I've never, and I don't understand how a corporate company can support people with these streams that are as toxic as they are.
Yeah.
People calling people an MF on the stream,
Well-
and they're getting floated free product, they're getting floated leaks, and they're calling just people that are watching MFers.
Yeah, what got me as
Unbelievable.
well, if you guys, know, I have like 4,000 Facebook groups. So I had all these big ones in there, and there was only
Yeah.
one company
You
that
did,
ever
yeah.
went into other communities to start trouble. It was only Arcade One Up. You never saw At Games go into Arcade One Up's group.
They
causing
play
trouble,
dirty. They play
Right.
dirty. They
They
play
did,
dirty.
and then
Dirty,
they-
dirty.
and they complain after the fact, but they were the only ones that went into every other one of my groups to cause problems, to have people in the community go in and cause problems. Not once did I see that happen from At Games, New Wave Toys, My Arcade, Super. None of the other ones. It was always
Yeah.
just Arcade One Up, and then they cried wolf. They cry, they're being picked on, or they're being treated badly. But they're the ones who start the thing, and from personal experience, I know that they put other people to attack other people, including myself, under orders of the company. So
Yeah, they weaponize people again, and the thing is, like,
It's bad.
against each other in this tiny community, against each other. Like,
That's
I love all arcades.
community.
I love real
It is
arcades.
a
I love home arcades. I love pinball.
Yeah,
But,
we're
you know,
sort of a small community
and we
too.
should be brothers in arms. All of us
we
here
should
are
be.
brothers in arms.
we all love
we're
games.
not the companies. We are
No,
content creators. We are gamers,
gamers.
and we
100%.
should have respect and be united. There we go. Be united rather than bicker amongst ourselves.
Well, you got to
there's
think
no
of someone
reason-
too who's on the outside looking in. They're interested in home arcades. They come to a live stream on home arcades and they see this going on. They're like, "Oh,
Yep.
turn right back around and go out the door because
Right.
I don't
Yep.
want anything to do with this." So we all got to work together. We got to be a community together, and be friends and try to get along, because that's what's going to bring more people in and
Well,
make it larger.
all of us know who the problem
What I've been
people
saying.
are. I mean, it's the people who are outside who don't realize it. I mean, we know that where
Not me.
the toxicity comes from.
Yeah.
I
It's not
apologize
me.
for my
Not
problems.
me. I love all. I
On
love
behalf
all.
of the
Kev
number
Gret
one
is completely
show.
innocent.
I did nothing. Rexer
But
and
I had
I
a video pop
are
up for me
innocent.
today of Glenn from 6 years ago, and it was the Atari at games console.
No
Do you
way.
remember
Oh
that?
yeah, Glenn, you used to do a lot of those flashback
I have,
videos.
I have
all of them.
literally
Yeah.
every single one of them, and actually the handheld, I got like 12 of them because
I think that's how I found your
there
channel.
was a, I think it was not Walmart, the Walgreens had like a special, like $15 for them. I just went in. Okay,
Actually,
that would
Yep.
Glenn has a video on everything arcade related if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
Like I loved
Yep.
all those
You'll
videos you
find
did,
it.
like Wizard of War and like all the like spotlights you did on all the classic arcade games. Those were amazing.
I need to do a video and repair my NES Pro Play home arcade. If you don't know what that is, it was an arcade cabinet for the NES that was sold mostly at Toys R Us back in 1991, and my basement flooded, so the bottom part of it got ruined. So I need to find someone really good with woodworking. I want to get that repaired and put it back to its pristine level, because as far as I know, there's not many of those left in the world. So those are things like I want to do. I like to restore them. Unfortunately, my house tends to get water, and I don't know why. I'm up on top of a hill. I'm on top of a mountain, yet my basement floods. I don't get it.
But you've rectified that. Everything's in bags now, right, Glenn? You got bags.
Everything was always in bags.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
always
quite
in
honest.
bags.
exactly.
He's all about the bags now. You know, he goes to the grocery store. He picks up a few extras, you know, just in
I'm
case.
banned
you know.
from like 5 grocery stores. They see me coming. They're like, "Yeah, you ain't getting no more bags, Glenn." But my girlfriend actually went out hysterical for Christmas. She bought me this huge roll. I don't know where she got it from. Of those bags.
She stole it from the supermarket. That's awesome. Glenn, I have a question about the deck, going back to the deck.
Mhm.
Are you, when these things eventually get on pre-order, are you prepared? Like, do you have like an initial quantity that you have to get over, or are you going to wait for the community for the pre-order numbers? Like, are you going to cap it off at a run? So let's say we get 700 pre-orders. Are you good to go with that? Or you have to like stop it at 500 or 100?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Beautiful.
We'll start the pre-order. I'm not sure how long I'm going to run it for.
Yeah.
It really just depends how quickly we can ramp up. Because again, the company I partner with is actually one of the largest manufacturers of arcade parts in the world. So they have a lot of other things that they do, and I kind of like steal time, and a couple other people steal time to work on the stuff to make them and to build them. The big thing right now is, unfortunately, this week they're all on vacation. Like the whole place is on vacation. I was hoping to get pricing and have the pre-order like today to do it. But no, we'll do the pre-order. Now, if we get 200, 500, 50, or 75, whatever the pre-order starts up, we'll make them, and we'll make a set amount.
And you're gonna make them affordable. I mean, off stream, you know, I was shooting you some zingers off stream, and I can tell you, you're for the gamers. You're gonna keep this affordable. I was impressed.
Like
with you,
my new my joystick kit. We give you a Sanwa compatible joystick. We give you 10 illuminated buttons in your choice of colors, and an encoder board with a USB cable. Everything you need to wire it up for $19.
That's insane.
So, and my $19.
$19.
Again, this little guy right here. We're doing.
Wait a minute. All these controls are better than your $600 arcade one up,
and it's $19.
And it's $19.
This
Glenn's going to deliver.
Build-A-Cade is $99, and I got it down for a short time for $69. So we always try to write down my my 1977
Space Opera controller.
That was originally $250. We got it down to $199. We had it on sale a couple of times, but it was down to $120. So we always try and get the price down so people can get these in their hands and enjoy the games. Is it the smartest business move?
Well, I was going to say, Glenn. So what you're saying is you're going to continue your insanity on pricing products with this deck. You're not going to
and my partners hate me.
Yeah. I'm currently on Facebook right now, tagging you in an angry post. I paid $99. Now it's $69. Hold on, everybody.
Yeah.
This is a fact. I'm 58 years old. 58. I'm 58. 58. Hey, your channels are going down. You made a little money off of YouTube, but the game is over. Sticking it to the man. Peace out.
Younger than me. He looks way younger than me.
I know, right? It's that Miami Sun.
Shout out to our friend Steps Gaming.
That's right.
With that $2
he is-
super chat asking Glenn, how much is Glenn's deck? Cheers to the crew. Well, we
Yep.
got it out of Glenn before the show. It is
Yep. Cheers to
$7,999.52.
That's true. That's true.
You have to trade in
And-
2Rcade 1-ups.
Yeah.
Yes.
Glenn wants all your
Well, no,
1-ups.
it was if you're
Price-
trading in
the price
2Rcade,
will
one
be
up
great.
to come with one child. I need labor force.
Steps. I mean, Glenn can answer this, but he still can't give the price.
No,
But-
'cause the whole point is, like I was saying before, my guys want to kill me because I keep beating them to get the price down. So
Just to negotiate the price low.
I'm still negotiating a couple of the parts. I really trying to get it down because I do understand that people spent money for their machine and that spend money on their light guns. So I'm really trying not to be an impedance to that. But my guys still have to eat. I mean, they're eating not eating a
The
lot,
balance.
but
It's
they
the
do need to
balance.
eat. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to keep the quality high though, and keep the
Right.
price
Well,
low.
that's the
Right,
big thing.
yeah.
And that's the trick, the balance of that,
Yeah.
And from your other products, I can tell you, I mean, everything I've ever bought from GRS has been top quality. So, like, I know
Yeah.
that you know what you're doing because I'm using your stuff right now.
with my name on it, and that's the thing. There's one thing I could put up a lot of things in life, and I have put up a lot of things in life. The one thing I can't put up against is like an attack on like my integrity. My integrity is
Yeah.
that if it's something I want, and if it's something I want, it's got to be good. And if I'm going to be selling something to you guys, it's got to be that. Fortunately, very fortunate, the team I have believe the same thing because they want to charge more for it. So I still got to knock them down a little bit on that. But that's very important to me. The GRS brand is a brand, very simple, arcade quality, but not getting that arcade price. And that's the big thing. But most importantly, it's about Popo, which I saw up there.
And
It's
did I
about
hear,
Popo.
That's actually
Oh.
the real Dodgem.
Yeah, I have the real. This is the real
Yeah,
Atari
you don't want-
Dodgem.
Yeah.
There you go.
did
There
I
it
hear
is.
pre-orders are going to start next week?
That's the plan. My team was on vacation this week, so they said they'll get the website updated. And I'm hoping to get the pre-orders next week. So hopefully we'll have the pricing then as well. So it's not too much longer. So just give us a little more time just to make sure we
Yep.
get everything up there. And we'll announce it and let you guys know. And you guys can announce it as well.
And then there's like screws or something on top of the game deck. Those are going to not be there.
Well, right now, I'll go back to this real quick here. Let's bring you back over here. So this is my pre-production prototype. So you can see here, these can't be here. This has to be completely smooth. So if you guys do want to add your own artwork,
Yeah.
you'll be able to do that. These
And-
will be either exposed or have little caps you can put on these here and on that side. But we want to make this so if you do want to add your own artwork, you can do it. But you will be getting 2 sets of joysticks. You will be getting 2 push-pull spinners. You'll be getting the volcano buttons. You'll be getting the 8 4-way gate switchers.
Mhm.
And the million press buttons. And the secret sauce we're not telling you yet is you'll be able to use the spinners and the joysticks will not be a problem. They will not be in your way. So that's my last secret sauce, but that will not be
Glenn, just
shown.
push the joystick down and show us right now. Push it down. Come on, you know.
Nope, not gonna show you just yet.
Oh,
There's a
man,
shaft on there.
What? That thing pushes down and gets out the way. What?
It will
I have
Only
connect.
a
Glenn
theory on
can-
that.
Only
It'll
Glenn can
connect
figure
the
that
same
What's
out.
on the side there? What is that?
That's your screw you would normally would use
Yep.
to connect you. So it's gonna be this one screw here on the other side. You take it to the other deck, and like I said, the only probably the hard part of the whole thing is for people with the legacy cabinet, only because the motherboard is inside the controller mechanism. So you're going to have to take that out. You're going to have to take out the 4 screws in the bottom. You're going to have to take the joystick off and take off the motherboard, and carefully remove the motherboard from that bottom casing. I'll do a video showing that and how I have it in the
Yeah, I
machine.
decased mine when I did the gate switcher. It's not a big deal to decase the
It's not, but you have
motherboard.
be
There's nothing to it.
careful.
Be
There's
careful.
only one thing, because there's one capacitor that when you go to slide it out, if you're not careful, it could hit and potentially cause a problem if you knock that off. But you can just do what Pop Brad did. Just take a hacksaw and
Yeah. I mean,
and then
all you
just
need,
pull it out.
to do it is a hole saw. I mean.
I don't know. You got
go back
Glenn's
to that?
girlfriend
cut
on
in.
there.
Three of them were hot.
You
You go
got-
back the anime girls.
Glenn, is
and
that your
the
girlfriend on the show?
No, but it could be.
Glenn, that's my secret way to get more super chats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason. And with that $10 super chat, he also has a question for Glenn. Your prototype deck has a $79.99 version 3 trackball in it. Will that trackball be included in the final product, or will it be another less expensive model?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, it will be the version 3 trackball, which is that $79 trackball.
Jesus.
It is going to be the high-end push-pull buttonhole spinners and gate switches. But you got to remember, when you sell parts individually,
Mhm.
there's packaging
More money.
and shipping,
Yeah.
so the price goes up with that.
Yeah.
So when you're adding them from the manufacturer into a single product, it's not going to be $79 anymore. So again, all the high quality stuff, but I am going to
Dude.
get you guys a price that's going to be a wild
Unleash the Kraken. Unleash the Kraken.
Yeah. Well, Glenn, so I don't know how to word this, but you built this mothership of options to play these games, and you said iArcade needs more games. But with your spinner and your trackball, you had to have gotten a sneak peek of what's coming to take advantage of this, right? Like the current games we have now, there's a handful that would
Not a
be
lot that's
executed.
trackball
right?
centric.
So all I want you to do is wink if we're going to be taking advantage of these additions that you're building for this iArcade,
Can you
right?
see if I'm winking or not?
Yeah. So we're excited to get this because the
Yeah.
sooner we get this, the sooner things can happen, right? And I imagine that's why iArcade's a little slow this year and fumbling, with their announcements because this is a big
honestly,
hurdle.
The big thing was I think we spent too much time trying to work with the Bluetooth versus trying to find the other avenue, which actually worked out much better. That was definitely something that definitely slowed us down. But there were other issues. Again, we ended up resolving it and getting it to work, but it wasn't an easy task. However, it will be an easy task now to implement, if that makes any
Nice.
sense. It took them a long
Yeah.
time to figure out how to develop the H-bomb, but now they can make them like pennies.
Yeah, they got it
H-bombs
down.
all
I
over the
mean,
place.
you want an H-bomb, yeah, you just gotta have the right stuff.
Yeah.
Glenn,
easy.
can I ask you why did you release that video Saturday night? Were you allowed to
Is
release
that an accident? Did
Was
you
that an
accidentally?
accident?
Did you accidentally hit unlist accidentally?
Michael was like, it was legal.
They seemed a bit shocked.
I
They seemed a bit
potentially
shocked.
might have put down the wrong date.
You might have picked the
That's what
wrong
I-
Saturday.
Yeah.
He
on
picked, yeah,
that
he
video.
picked
That's
the wrong
possible
Saturday.
That could have happened. I can't say for
Yeah.
sure, but when your eyes are not the best and you worked a long day and you did a thing and it was late.
Well,
might
you
have
see
picked
what
the
you
wrong
did,
date.
right? Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
literally went live as soon as that
Yeah.
came
Everyone
out.
Brooklyn
Like,
Menace, they were literally playing
We
VR,
were-
and I went in the
yeah.
chat, and I was like, they thought I was a troll because I was like, iArcade, they're getting, all iArcade machines are going to be able to play Sinden light gun games. And
And when
kevgret's
you're-
like, who is this troll?
Glenn, when you play VR, you can't see who's saying it, so you hear the voice, and we thought it was the other camp
We thought
coming
we were
in.
getting trolled.
And we're like, what? And then we were done the game, and we all run upstairs, and then we all just went live together. We're like, this
Yeah,
is
man, we
insane,
had the
Glenn. It's Saturday
iArcadians.
night. What do you-
iArcadians had to assemble for a little midnight magic, man.
Did
Yep.
you get a
But-
call from Michael? Like, Glenn, what did you do? You started
I
crazy.
might have gotten a text.
Why? It just said why.
Hmm.
It's like, come on. But Glenn, we loved it, man. We were so amped
We
up.
loved
as you
it,
saw.
man. It was amazing.
Was just
Well, you know what?
expression of
I told
Pure
them, too.
joy.
I said
Joy.
that
Pure joy.
that it was. There's no such thing as bad press ever. No such thing as bad press, and it was good news, and I think they needed it actually at the time. I think
Yeah.
there was a lot of people going down on iArcade at the time. A lot of them going into business, which is not the case.
yeah.
But a lot of the stuff it actually worked out. But yeah, it was definitely I should have looked a little bit closer down in that date field.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I knew it was a possibility that the date was wrong on that, but we were like, let's watch it before it goes down. So we all
Well,
jumped on the
if
stream,
any of you
but we
watch
were
my
like-
channels, I can tell every time I'm doing live streams or like half stuff screwed up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just Glenn's Retro Show. That's
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
way
yeah,
it rolls.
Yeah, yeah.
No offense, Glenn. We knew Operation Thunderbolt was coming out months ago because we saw
Yeah.
it on. We were scrolling on some
saw it on your
stream, and we
screen.
saw it on your screen accidentally. But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
Glenn,
flack on that one
we
too.
the
Hey, we
Friday night
we were still
arcade
excited,
and
though.
the iiRcadians
We
kept
knew.
it under wraps.
And
We
didn't say
we
a
had
word.
screenshots. We had screenshots, but guess what? Unlike other communities where when they find a leak, they immediately have to blow that leak and ruin the surprise.
Yes,
We,
Yeah.
we
We
didn't
kept
do
it
that.
secret.
We kept it secret
Oh.
because we knew
You
it was
didn't-
coming.
You didn't do it, but someone
Yeah.
from maybe iiRcade goes, Glenn. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Sorry about that.
Well, hey, Glenn, not for anything. On that video that you unveiled the guns, I was pausing it when you were scrolling through your screen.
I know you were. I heard you
It's
saying,
like,
wait,
pause,
is there another game on there?
pause. I was
Glenn,
like,
how
really?
much
sure.
do we have to pay you to turn your iRcade on, put your camera
Yeah, just
right up next
scroll
to it,
through
and
the game
scroll
list
through the
for us,
game list?
please.
I made sure when in my
Yeah,
machine,
I
I put
thought-
everything that's not supposed to be there. I learned
That's
my,
when-
mis- my
whenever-
mistake.
Whenever we're on, when Michael comes on, same thing. Like he can't scroll through his game list.
Yeah, his iRcade
Yeah.
signed an NDA, so now we're good. But that was
You
so
know, I don't
funny.
know
I'm
if people
like-
pay close attention to this show. Well, no one watches this show, so even
no
if they
one
were
watches the
paying
show.
attention, it's 5 people. But
Yeah.
regardless, like Michael, when he was
There's no
playing
footprint.
Operation Wolf against us, he was on a Gen 1 that night.
Yeah.
So if you were kind of like paying attention, so I don't know if he did something else to it, or he was working with the.
Oh, he was on a
whatever,
Gen 1
whatever
with,
Glenn
with
was
the
up
light
to.
gun.
Yeah, he
so-
was.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good
people don't
catch.
pay attention.
There's
Yeah,
breadcrumbs,
well,
all of this-
I might have had a few beverages.
Again, I didn't say anything.
Might have had a few beverages that night.
But you know what? They always made it clear that it was something that they were going to try. And I just think, like, as a company, they don't, even though they catch a lot of heat, they don't like to say we're working on it. We're trying. Like, they just wait till it works and then they announce
And
it.
they
That
say
way, people
something.
don't get disappointed.
Well, people were angry because the impression was Jong said it was never going to happen. They lied to us. And my impression is they worked damn hard to bend time and reality to get this to happen. And it certainly looked like it
Mm.
wasn't going to happen. So we should be happy and say they didn't give
Yeah.
up. You didn't give up, Glenn.
Give
You didn't
up,
give
no.
up, Jong and
And
Michael.
there
know?
really was a lot of challenges on a hardware level, but also on a licensing level. A lot of things had to be done a certain way.
Wow.
It's not really not just cut and dry, like you just make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the licensing and the way things had to be implemented played a factor in this as well.
Okay. Wow.
And so we had to make sure we navigated everything properly. And again, it was really something we really didn't know if it was going to work, and we just kind of tried it, and it worked. And we were just surprised that it worked perfectly. And so it was a big win when that happened. I personally would have been disappointed, I think, if we only did the Bluetooth, because there really would have been no way to get Sinden to work properly ever.
Right.
I just think there's
Right.
just too much latency, especially for a light gun game. The accuracy is kind of really needed
Yeah.
there. So I would have been disappointed if we only were able to do that on the legacy cabinet. Way we're going now, I think is the right way, and I think everyone's gonna be really happy with it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think you're going to be excited at the pre-orders. It's everybody that I know has a Gen 1 wants it, and even some gold people, because you're
Yeah.
expanding their gold capability as well,
Yeah.
not just for the guns. So
Yeah.
I think this is literally like iArcade.
Well, they got the killer rap. They
2.0.
got the Jong Pong. You got to play paddles with the Jong
Push
Pong.
pull. We got to get the
Yeah.
push pull on the Jong. You're right. Well, they got to get AI because
one question I
Mike
do
Pence
have
did
about the game deck is if we want to put our original game deck back in it, how easy is it to swap it back in?
Very easy. Take up the 2 side screws, remove
Reverse engineer it.
the main cable and an additional cable that we have in there, and that's it. It's completely reversible.
Plug it in.
But BiggyD, why would you want to go back? Once you got
I'm
Glens
not sure.
technology,
Maybe one
no, I'm
day
just
you want to
saying.
sell it or
You
something.
know, maybe one day you want to sell it back to P-Dubs, or you know.
Or maybe just you want to go with the original game deck for a little while. Just
Yeah.
wondering
Yeah.
how easy
Yeah.
is it to put it back in if you want.
Can you? Will you be able to swap the deck till from the OG to the gold?
Yeah, it's going to be fortunately because
Like if you had one deck, could you use it on both cabs?
you have to
You can,
switch
but you
out.
don't need to put the board in the gold.
Yeah, you don't,
don't
need the board, right?
board.
Yeah.
But the deck itself will work, huh? On
Yeah,
both machines?
We originally, if we had
Isn't
to
that
go with
crazy?
Bluetooth, it
That's
probably would have
cool.
been two
Real cool.
different SKUs, two different boards
Uh-huh.
that look the same. Now we can implement it with one, and the one will connect to both, give you, I said, additional USB ports for secondary, first primary and secondary Sindens, my controller plus an additional outside of that. So yeah,
That's
it worked
cool.
out actually in the end better than having to do,
That's
because
cool.
again, remember, if we were doing the Bluetooth, you would have had spinners but not push pull spinners, so
Mhm.
you would have had
And-
already a difference in the machine.
I
really
don't
didn't
know
like
if you
that.
can answer this. It's not a completely different motherboard. It's just something you add to it. Is that correct? It's not entirely new
Going
motherboard.
to you're talking about going to the legacy machine to get it to work.
Going to to get the control deck onto the original machine. It's not an entire new system that you're putting in, right? Because people were coming at us saying they're replacing the entire motherboard and putting something else in there.
Although say those way back in the day those were kind of talks, because again, I was a big advocate of. I really wanted to go with a cable, a hard line. I just didn't feel Bluetooth controls would have been the way to go for everything. But again, I could say that, but there are licenses with companies, and there's ways things can be done and can't be done. That really was a roadblock, to be quite honest. But I guess
figured it out.
Have a trailed a way around it.
It's awesome.
Nick, you have any questions?
Next, you want to say something? I feel like poor Nick's.
Steps is concerned for you.
Like here's the best. Objectively, here's the best gamer between us all.
Yeah.
And he has literally not said a word since he came on. So what do you want to say next?
He's planning all his strategies.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just excited for the opportunity to potentially have this in my system. So I'm just waiting to hear on pricing. That's what I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah.
I do hope that people will be pleasantly surprised at what we come up with. But that's what I'm fighting for right now, to make sure that price is where I think it's going to be affordable for everyone and a value for everyone.
We're looking forward to it, Glenn.
Looking at the GRS pricing now, I'm pretty confident that it's going to deliver. It's going to be at a good price. So
Glenn, so this is a quick story for you. I tried to sell my Atari 12-in-1, and I have your spinner and your trackball in there, right? And I couldn't get anybody to buy it, so I took it down, and then I relisted it, and I put in there. I guess I forgot to put. I said I upgraded the trackball to GRS spinner, right? And so I got like $250 for it, and this guy came to my house.
I still have nightmares from Brad's video.
You can't see it. I'll never go back. As soon as you play Burger Time with perfect 4-way controls, you're like, it's worth it. It's
Brad,
worth it.
If I did that to mine, I would throw the whole iiRcade out.
When was that? Sorry. Where was I?
Yeah.
I might have had a few beverages.
Again, I didn't.
We loved it, man. It was amazing.
Just expression of
I told
pure joy.
And fumbling, with their announcements, because this is a big
honestly,
hurdle.
The big thing was I think we spent too much time trying to work with the Bluetooth versus trying to find the other avenue, which actually worked out much better. that was definitely something that definitely slowed us down. But there were other issues. Again, we ended up resolving it and getting it to work, but it wasn't an easy task. However, it will be an easy task now to implement, if that makes any
Nice.
sense. It took them a long
Yeah.
time to figure out how to develop the H bomb, but now they could make them like pennies.
Yeah, they got it
H-bombs
down.
all
I
over the
mean,
place.
you want to H bomb, yeah, you just gotta have the right stuff.
Yeah,
Glenn,
easy.
can I ask you, why did you release that video Saturday night? Were you were you allowed to
Is
release
that an accident? Did
Was
you
that an
accidentally?
accident?
Did you accidentally hit unlist accidentally?
Michael was like, it was
I
leaked.
may,
They
I
seemed a bit
might,
shocked.
I
They seemed a bit
potentially
shocked.
might have put down the wrong date.
You might have picked the
That's what
wrong
I-
Saturday.
Yeah.
He
on
picked, yeah,
that
yeah, he
video.
picked the
That's
wrong
possible
Saturday.
that could have happened. I can't say for
Yeah.
sure, but when your eyes are not the best and you worked a long day and you did a thing and it was late.
Well,
might
you
have
see
picked
what
the
you
wrong
did,
date.
right? Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
literally
yeah,
went live as soon as that came
Everyone
out.
Brooklyn
Like,
Menace, they were literally playing
We
VR,
were-
and I went in the
yeah.
chat, and I was like, they thought I was a troll because I was like, iiRcade, they're getting, all iiRcade machines are going to be able to play Sinden light gun games. And
And when
kevgret's
you're-
like, who is this troll?
Glenn, when you play VR, you can't see who's saying it, so you hear the voice. And we thought it was the other camp
We thought
coming
we were
in.
getting trolled.
And we're like, what? And then we were done the game, and we all run upstairs, and then we all just went live together. We're like, this
Yeah,
is
man, we
insane,
had the
Glenn. It's Saturday
iiRcadians.
night. What do you-
iiRcadians had to assemble for a little midnight magic, man.
Did you get a
but-
call from Michael? Like, Glenn, what did you do? You started a
I
crazy.
might have gotten a text.
Why? It just said why.
Hmm.
It's like, come on. But Glenn, we loved it, man. We were so amped
We
up.
loved
as you
it,
saw.
man. It was
It
amazing.
was just
Well, you know what?
expression of
I told
Pure
them, too.
joy.
I said
Joy.
that
Pure joy.
that it was. There's no such thing as bad press ever. No such thing as bad press, and it was good news, and I think they needed it actually at the time. I think
Yeah.
there was a lot of people going down on iiRcade at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of them going into business, which is not the case.
yeah.
But a lot of the stuff, so it actually worked out. But yeah, it was definitely. I should have looked a little bit closer down in that date field.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I knew it was a possibility that the date was wrong on that, but we were like, let's watch it before it goes down. So we all
Well,
jumped.
if
on the
any
stream,
of you
we
watch
were
my
like-
channels, I can tell every time I'm doing live streams or like have stuff screwed up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just Glenn's Retro Show. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
where
yeah,
it rolls.
Yeah, yeah.
No offense, Glenn. We knew Operation Thunderbolt was coming out months ago because we saw it on. We were scrolling
We
on
saw
some
it on your
stream, and we
screen.
saw it on your screen accidentally. But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
Glenn,
flack on that one
we
too.
the
Hey, we
Friday night
we were still
arcade
excited,
and
though.
the iiRcadians
We
kept
knew.
it under wraps.
And
We never.
we didn't say
We
a
had
word.
screenshots. We had screenshots, but guess what? Unlike other communities where when they find a leak, they immediately have to blow that leak and ruin the surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
We
didn't
kept
do
it
that.
secret.
We kept it secret
Oh.
because we knew
You-
it was
you-
coming.
You didn't do it, but someone
Yeah.
from maybe iiRcade goes, Glenn. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Sorry about that.
Well, hey, Glenn, not for anything. On that video that you unveiled the guns, I was pausing it when you were scrolling through your screen.
I know you were. I heard you
It's
saying,
like,
wait,
pause,
is there another game on there?
pause. I was
Glenn,
like,
how
"Where's
much
the
do we
door?"
have to pay you to turn your iiRcade on, put your camera
Yeah,
right
just
up next
scroll
to it,
through
and
the game
scroll
list
through the
for us,
game list?
please.
I
Scroll
made
through.
sure. I made sure when in my
Yeah,
machine, I
I
put
thought-
everything that's not supposed to be there. I learned
That's
my
when-
mis- from my
whenever-
mistake.
Whenever we're on, when Michael comes on, same thing. Like he can't scroll through his game list.
Yeah, his iRcade
Yeah.
signed an NDA, so now we're good. But that was
You
so
know, I
funny.
don't know
I'm
if people
like,
pay close attention to this show. Well, no one watches this show, so even
no
if they
one
were
watches
paying
this show.
attention, it's 5 people. But
Yeah.
regardless, like Michael, when he was
There's no
playing
footprint.
Operation Wolf against us, he was on a Gen 1 that night.
Yeah.
So if you were kind of like paying attention, so I don't know if he did something else to it, or he was working with the.
Oh, he was on a Gen 1
whatever
with,
Glenn
with
was
the
up
light
to.
gun.
Yeah, he
Oh, so-
was.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good
people don't
catch.
pay attention.
There's
Yeah.
breadcrumbs,
Well,
all of this-
I might have had a
there's
few
all-
beverages.
Again, I didn't say anything.
Might have had a few beverages that night.
But you know what? They always made it clear that it was something that they were going to try. And I just think like as a company, they don't, even though they catch a lot of heat, they don't like to say we're working on it. We're trying, like they just wait till it works and then they announce
And
it.
they
That
say
way people
something.
don't get disappointed.
Well, people were angry because the impression was Jong said it was never going to happen. They lied to us. And my impression is they worked damn hard to bend time and reality to get this to happen. And it certainly looked like it
Mm.
wasn't going to happen. So we should be happy and say they didn't give
Yeah.
up. You didn't give up, Glenn.
Give
You didn't
up,
give
man.
up, Jong and
And
Michael.
there
you
there
know?
really was a lot of challenges on a hardware level, but also on a licensing level. A lot of things had to be done a certain way.
Wow.
It's not really not just cut and dry, like you just make it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the licensing and the way things had to be implemented played a factor in this as well.
Okay. Wow.
And so we had to make sure we navigated everything properly. And again, it was really something we really didn't know if it was going to work, and we just kind of tried it, and it worked. And we were just surprised that it worked perfectly. And so it was a big win when that happened. I personally would have been disappointed, I think, if we only did the Bluetooth, because there really would have been no way to get Sinden to work properly ever.
Right.
I just think there's
Right.
just too much latency, especially for a light gun game. The accuracy is kind of really needed
Yeah.
there. So I would have been disappointed if we only were able to do that on the legacy cabinet. Way we're going now, I think is the right way, and I think everyone's gonna be really happy with it. To be quite honest.
Yeah, I think you're going to be excited at the pre-orders. It's everybody that I know has a Gen 1 wants it, and even some gold people, because you're
Yeah.
expanding their gold capability as well,
Yeah.
not just for the guns. So I think this is literally like iArcade.
Well, they got the killer
Yeah.
app. They got the Jong Pong. You got to play paddles with the Jong
push
Pong.
pull. We got to get the
Yeah.
push pull on the Jong. You're right. Well, they got to get AI because
one
Mike
question I
can't
do
stand
have
the
about the
code.
game deck is if we want to put our original game deck back in it, how easy is it to swap it back in?
Very easy. Take up the two side screws, remove
Reverse engineer it.
the main cable and an additional cable that we have in there, and that's it. It's completely reversible.
Plug it in.
But BiggggyD, why would you want to go back? Once you
I'm
got
not
Glenn's
sure.
technology,
Maybe one
now I'm
day
just
you want to
saying.
sell it or
You
something.
know, maybe one day you want to sell it back to P-Dubs, or you know.
Or maybe just you want to go with the original game deck for a little while. Just
Yeah.
wondering
Yeah.
how easy
Yeah.
is it to put it back in if you want.
Can
to.
you?
It sounds like it's
Will you be
easy.
able to swap the deck till from the stand, like from the OG to the gold?
Yeah, it's gonna be fortunately because
Like if you had one deck, could you use it on both cabs?
you have
You
to
can,
switch
but you
out.
don't need to put the board in the gold.
Yeah, you don't,
You don't
need the board, right?
board.
Yeah.
But the deck itself will work, huh? On
Yes,
both machines?
We originally, if we had
Isn't
to go with
that
Bluetooth, it
That's
probably would have
cool.
been two
Real cool.
different SKUs, two different boards
Uh-huh.
that look the same. Now we can implement it with one, and the one will connect to both, give you
Good.
said additional USB ports for secondary, first primary and secondary Sindens, my controller plus an additional outside of that. So yeah,
That's
it worked
cool.
out actually in the end better than having to do,
That's
because
cool.
again, remember, if we were doing the Bluetooth, you would have had spinners but not push pull spinners. So
Mhm.
you would have had
And-
already a difference in the machine.
I don't
didn't
know
like
if you
that.
can answer this. It's not a completely different motherboard. It's just something you add to it. Is that correct? It's not entirely new
going
motherboard.
to you're talking about going to the legacy machine to get it to work.
Going to to get the control deck onto the original machine. It's not an entire new system that you're putting in, right? Because people were coming at us saying they're replacing the entire motherboard and putting something else in there.
Although say those way back in the day those were kind of talks, because again, I was a big advocate of I really wanted to go with a cable, a hard line. I just didn't feel Bluetooth
Mhm.
controls would have been the way to go for everything. But again, I could say that, but there are licenses with companies, and there's ways things can be done and can't be done. That really was a roadblock,
Mhm.
to be quite honest. But I guess
Figured
we
it out.
have a trailed a way around it.
It's awesome.
Nick,
Glenn,
do you have
what
any
was-
questions?
Next, you want to say
No, I'm
something?
just
I
like-
feel
I'm
like
just
poor Nick's.
Steps is
here's-
concerned for you.
Like here's the best. Objectively, here's the best gamer between us all.
Yeah,
And he has
just
literally
listening to
not
it.
said a word since he came on. So what do you want to say next?
He's planning all his strategies.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I'm just excited for the opportunity to potentially have this in my system. So I'm just waiting on here on pricing. That's what I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah.
I do hope that people will be pleasantly surprised at what we come up with. But that's what I'm fighting for right now. to make
Yeah.
sure that that price is where I think it's going to be affordable for everyone and a value for everyone.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
you don't
looking
want to end
forward
up
to it,
paying
Glenn.
more.
Looking at the
than you would
GRS pricing now, I'm pretty confident that it's going to deliver. It's going to be at a good price. So,
Glenn,
I mean,
Glenn. So this is a quick story for you. I tried to sell my Atari 12-in-1, and I have your spinner and your trackball in there, right? And I couldn't get anybody to buy it, so I took it down, and then I relisted it, and I put in there. I guess I forgot to put. I said I upgraded the trackball to GRS spinner, right? And so I got like $250 for it. And this guy came to my house and I said, "Hey, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I upgraded." He goes, "Dude, that's literally why I'm here. I wouldn't buy this if it didn't have Glenn's trackball in it." I was like, "Oh, you know, Glenn stuff." He goes, "Anybody who's anybody in Arcade
Yeah.
One just buys his stuff."
if you're
It's
a
a given.
gamer, if
Yeah.
you buy home arcades to play them, not look
Yeah.
at them,
Yeah.
not have them in your background, to play them, you know, I mean, I have a spinner on. I have a trackball on my Atari Legacy cab.
Yeah. So,
Big money, big prizes. I love it.
where's
Hey,
the
shout out to
counselors?
Goofyfoot.
Where's the
He
counselors?
wants
That's
the
not the one he
counselors.
wants.
I'll play it.
Come on, dude.
Well,
Give us an
Glenn's
R-rated
Glenn's
one.
got to leave
Come on,
soon. I was trying not to
it's
go
late
too long with
night,
the super
man.
chat.
I want Glenn's
Late
girlfriend
night.
on the screen. Come on.
Let's get her back, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
let's
to
go.
Goofyfoot with that $9.99
Goofy.
super chat. Here's the Glenn. My mod father released the camp counselors. Oh, he did ask for the camp counselors.
Yes, that's what
I'm
we're
so
did.
sorry.
Give him what he wants.
All right, hold
give
on.
the chat what they want.
I have so many. All right, let's go with this one.
Welcome to the stream, the Rexer Show.
How you doing?
I said that
And
to her. She threw a drink in my face.
Glenn, will you tell her
Have
how
you,
much it is
played
if she
Operation
asked
Thunderbolt yet?
how much the deck is?
Actually, I think I have to ask her that question.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Has Nick's played Operation Thunderbolt yet?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
you have.
I
Are you on the
did.
leaderboard?
Yeah, I just played it one time. I got number 2. Some guy got an insane 1.7 million on it after I finished my game. So we'll
I'm
see
hearing
where
it's
at
more
now.
approachable than Operation Wolf.
It is. You can corridor your way through it. You don't have to restart the level when you continue. So you just keep going. The game does end at the end when you get to the end boss. Like he killed me, and it was just game over. So it's either you beat the boss, and I think that's how the guy got 1.7. The game probably rolls over, and you start again, and then oh, a second. Okay, and yeah, so I'm gonna have fun playing it. It's more approachable than
Yeah.
Operation Wolf.
Well,
Absolutely.
we knew, you know, we had Glenn on special guest, so we knew we were probably going to be going late tonight. So stick around later because
Yes.
we will be playing some Operation Thunderbolt live as well as Run from the Popo. We still have Game Fight coming up. I don't think Glenn's going to be able to stick around, unfortunately, anymore for that segment. But
Yeah.
you know, he's always welcome to come back anytime he wants. I hope the rest of you don't. As soon as Glenn leaves, the rest of them are just going to leave me here by myself, and this show's going to go to hell, Glenn.
Action.
They're only here
Take a
for you.
screenshot of me and just leave me here.
We're
Yeah,
here for Glenn, right? I thought it ended with
that's a
Glenn.
good idea. Yeah, Glenn's gonna
already
leave.
left.
There'll be one person watching.
I'm not.
us
I didn't
do
leave.
Game
I'm
Fight.
here. I'm here.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, Brad always stays.
Yeah, that's the way I do. You know.
That's
It's in
right.
his contract. He has
My
to be the
contract,
last one off the stream.
That's right,
But I had a great time here with you guys.
Ah.
And again, I'm
man.
happy to come back at any point in time. I'm
We are-
hoping, like I said, next week, get me information on the pre-orders and pricing
Awesome.
on the units.
Maximum respect.
I
Yes,
appreciate
Glenn.
it.
Thank you so much
Can't
for
thank
being
you
the
enough,
first
Glenn.
big guest to even show up to the show. You know.
Yeah. Papa
I
Brad
invite
threw that-
everyone,
he
and they're
threw
like,
that- he threw that line out there. I
I'm
was like,
doing my
"Zing!"
taxes tonight. You know,
Wait,
but
wait,
isn't
it's not
tax
April
season
15th.
over?
Yeah.
Hey, look, guys. Oh, Monday show's canceled. This Monday.
Inside
just-
baseball.
We're not having a
going
show on
on.
Monday.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Glenn, because I'm, a Gen 1 owner. So you really came through for us, and I appreciate that.
Well, that's means a lot because I want to make sure everyone has the same. Here we go again. Experience. That's like $50 today alone. I owe John.
Yeah.
But
Glenn's one of
I
us.
have mine here too, and I want to make sure
One
that
of us.
everyone has the same gaming pleasure. There we go. Say the
Yeah,
word
you have more stories.
Awesome.
I hope P-Dubs gave you a good deal on that.
Yeah, I got a decent deal on it. May have gotten a better deal today, but that was 2 months ago. I've been enjoying
Exactly.
Exactly.
You can't.
So that's
Yeah.
invaluable.
P-Dubs, if BiggggyD tries to call you, just don't take the call. He's trying to get some money back.
Plus, it's got P-Dub's DNA on it.
Yeah,
got-
it's special.
It's special.
It is
Actually, you
special.
probably
I
got
play
the
Wizard
better
of
deal
It
before.
is
Now that
special.
I have the board coming out, and he may have kept it.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, actually, because you might
Yeah.
have one stock, one with the board.
Yep.
And what's funny, I play Wizard of Walls, and it still says P-Dubs Arcade Loft. Like,
wait,
for
you
whatever
didn't
reason,
change
you can't
your-
fix that.
He
Only
can't.
on that one?
You
Or
can't.
on the-
They have to. The developer would have
Wait,
to
so
change
so
it.
oh wow, that's funny.
on
So
the
only on
leaderboard,
that
it's okay.
leaderboard it says
Yeah.
P-Dubs.
I was wondering why P-Dubs all of a sudden was doing so good. I'm seeing P-Dubs' name on the leaderboards. I was like, damn, P-Dubs is playing some iRcade.
Now we know.
I'm just kidding,
Maybe
P-Dubs. We know you're legit. We
All
know
right,
you're
guys,
legit.
we got to
This new,
respect Glenn. He did have
All right,
a
Glenn.
heart out.
Thank
I don't want to
you.
keep him up all night.
Absolute
Glenn,
pleasure.
thank you
Good
so
talk as
much
always.
for
Absolute
joining
luck
us
with the
here on the
pre-orders,
Friday Night
Glenn.
Arcade Show. Thanks for everything that you do for the iRcade community, every other retro home arcade community. We all appreciate it. You make
It's a
the
real
game so much
deal.
more fun to play.
He's one of us.
He's one
All
of
right,
us. That's
Glenn.
a real deal there.
Guys,
Any
have a
final
great night.
words?
Thank you to everyone out there. Peace out. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Glenn.
All right.
Game on! Game on! Game on! Game on!
And there he goes, just like that. Glenn is gone.
We just lost 30 viewers, so I don't
yes.
know why.
Yeah, it just went down to one.
It's like a wall. You're gonna look at your analytics. It's gonna be like a wall straight down from here.
Hey,
It's like
what happened?
Yeah, screw the rest of these guys.
This is Papa Brad, and I'm proud to announce that my channel now has memberships. If you would like to support the iArcadian show or Papa Brad's gaming on the crazy arcade adventures he goes on, you can do so. I have 3 different levels: iArcadians Illuminati, the iArcadians Inner Circle, and the iArcadians High Council. You'll get exclusive content that you'll only be able to view in each category. So if you enjoy what my channel does, and you want to give us a little support, help pay for the StreamYards and the expenses of doing the show, this is a completely optional thing, and I'm just putting it out there. So thank you. This is Papa Brad's Gaming, reminding you to stay legit.
Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got